Hey guys, welcome to this week's recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So we start in the episode seeing the daily lives of our housewives, and we see Teresa avoiding food from Gia while she's trying to get fit for her wedding dress. So she's avoiding all the snacks, and of course we get Gia being funny and calling out her mom, saying how just the other night you had pizza, and you see the guilty look on Teresa's face. We then get a quick scene with Joe and Marge flirting. I feel like we always get that in every episode. Like, we always have to have a little moment of them flirting. I do wish that we can have a scene where we do just focus on them just being in their relationship, pretty much like how Ray and Karen is in The Real Housewives of Potomac, and other like relationships focused, I always feel like we only get a quick scene of them flirting. Then we get our new housewives, Rachel and Danielle, out shopping for the luau party that Melissa's throwing at the shore. So they're looking for an outfit. And these girls, they are the reason why the Real Housewives of New Jersey is killing it this season. I feel like they are carrying their weight. Oh my God, the missing scene of them walking out of Teresa's housewarming party with a tray of food is everything. I feel like the producers should have left that moment in. I want to see more of those kind of moments. It feels like we're watching Luis and Thelma type of situation, how these girls have bonded with each other and they're super, super, super cool. So I did enjoy that a lot. So remember, at the charity event, Danielle, she had opened up to Joe Gorga about her issues with her brother. And he gives her advice, and, she can only have hope that things work out, but she's not too hopeful about it. But, Rachel, she's encouraging. She's like, you keep trying, don't give up. Danielle, she did mention to Rachel how she talked to Margaret, and you could kind of tell from this moment where she talks about Margaret, you could kind of tell the difference these two have in their opinion towards Margaret. Danielle, she feels that she has to be careful around Margaret. Like, Margaret, she's the kind of girl who will pretty much stash and get as much information about a person to use later if she no longer likes you, or she wants to use something against you in front of the group. So Danielle is very cautious. She's very kind of defensive towards Margaret. Whereas, Rachel, she feels like, what is the threat? You have nothing to worry about. Do you feel like there's something out there that, she could use against you? And she does not even feel that Margaret, does that. This is what the girls say. Jennifer and Teresa, but this doesn't mean this is fact. I mean, this is those girls' opinion. And Rachel's like, she thinks on her own. I do feel that Danielle does think for her own, but Danielle is observing the situation of it all. So she's not going in this situation blind, okay? So, Danielle, she feels that Margaret will use something against her to make her look bad. And as we see later in the episode, Danielle, I mean, if you even mention her name wrong without her being in the presence of what's going on, what's being said, she gets some type of way, okay? And I'm like, I feel like even Margaret met her match with Danielle, because I feel like Danielle may be more rah than Teresa. Danielle is a great housewife in the making. I truly feel like she is a great addition. So we then get a scene of Teresa shopping for jewelry for her bridesmaid, and Jennifer, she comes and helps. So Teresa, she shops at Jennifer's close family relative jewelry shop, and Jen is pretty much getting Teresa ready to spend. I feel like this is like, remember long ago, some past seasons before, how the girls, they shopped for a gift for somebody, and then Jennifer was kind of mad because she feels like she's putting money into someone else's pocket. Why don't you shop with my people? My people have jewelry stores come use my connections. And Teresa, she's a loyal gal. She supports Jennifer, so she goes and shop with the Turks. So she's looking at jewelry, and Jennifer is making her buy, spend, and they talk about how Teresa is going over to the shore, and she's not staying at Joe's and Melissa's house. But interesting enough, Marge gets to, and it's I feel like, what did Teresa really expect? You guys are not really at the place to really live under one roof if you guys can even be in an evening party together and be able to occupy the same space, okay? So pretty much what the girls think is the reason why Marge is to stay at Joe and Melissa's home is they feel that Marge have something against Joe and Melissa. And so it's a situation where you keep your enemy close. But I feel like this is a stretch. This is a reach. It could be like, I feel like honestly, Margaret knows a little something about everybody, okay? And that's just not because she wants to use it against you, but she just wants to be well informed. Like, I would come on, guys, let's get it together and see the situation for it what it is. I do feel like Margaret, she is that kind of girl. Who will, get a little tea on so-and-so, just in case so-and-so want to act funny. She stay ready so she don't got to get ready. And I don't know, I ain't mad at it. So we then get to see all the housewives go through their closet to prepare for the short trip. So eventually we end up at Paulie's house, and we see Dolores at Paul's home, and she's, picking out her outfit or whatever. And we learn that Paulie is not going. He is actually still healing. And I'm like, man, I truly feel like we're not going to see much of Paul this season. I hope we see more of Paul because, our eye is on Mr. Paul to see if he's a good guy for our good Dolores, okay? So Dolores, she is actually staying in Rachel's house instead of where she usually stays at, which is Frank's. So Frank is going to be in his feelings because out of all timing, I feel like Dolores should have left Frank's shore house long time ago and stay with someone else, because I feel like Frank got already into a routine of Dolores being here. So for you to be there and now it's because you're in this new situation, I would not blame Frank if he looks at Paulie sideways as if he has something to do with it. Because it does kind of come off this is something to do with Paul, then it has something to do with Dolores setting boundaries. I feel like Dolores have to set the boundaries on her own accord and not make Frank feel like, oh, it's because of Paul. Because it's not. It really is not. But Frank is not seeing that way. But I can see how, he could be in his feelings about it. So Paul, of course, is supportive of setting boundaries, and he approves of Dolores staying over at Rachel's. We then get to see Jennifer and Bill get at their home, getting ready for the trip. They talk about their counseling session, and they are trying to move forward. But Jen, she is keeping it real. Jen is that girl who cannot fake the funk, and I like that about her. I respect that about her. But her man Bill, he wants to sweep it under the rug, and Jen is tired of that. She's like, that's why we have issues. Bill just wants to love on her like it's like day one, like the first day they met. And Jen agrees, like she wants to love on Bill, but she wants Bill to express more of his thoughts about the situation and really, talk through situations. Not him talk at her, but talk with her. And I see it. I see what you're going through, girl. That could be really irritating. And I can feel for Jennifer in this situation. So we are at day one at the shore house. So everyone is getting to their place. Everyone's getting to their spot. And after watching this, I feel like if you want to be a part of this franchise, you have to have a shore house. Otherwise, do not come to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Okay, there's no point, because you know in every season we're gonna get a party at the shore or something going down at the shore. Okay, so Jennifer, she recently bought last week a townhouse at the shore. So pretty much they kept all the furniture and even the sheets. And I'm like, damn, even the sheets. I don't know if I can keep the sheets. Did you keep? I wonder if she kept the. Don't tell me you kept the towels too. We need to like get our eyes, our goggles, and everything ready to really look at this home. So I can't wait to see more scenes in this home. But she says she kept everything, and pretty much the location of her townhouse is right on the shore where all the action takes place, which means all the fights. And I'm like, damn, do you really need to be that close to the action? But I get it. I mean, you go to the shore for vacation, so it's not like an everyday thing that you have to go through. But I guess, no, it's a smart idea too, because then when you have Airbnbs and people renting out your home, they're right at the strip. You could get top dollar for it for sure. So it's a good investment strategy. You know, Jennifer and Bill, they're all about their coin and getting that money, so I can't blame them. We then get to see Melissa's house, and you know, she's outside with her whole family, her whole crew, and Margaret is telling Melissa that her mother was talking to Teresa at the charity event, and her mother mentioned how beautiful the invitations were for Teresa's wedding, and that made Teresa happy, to the point where Teresa says, "Oh, I'm gonna invite Margaret's mom now." So Margaret's mom gets an invite, and I took it as Teresa being sweet, because you know Teresa's that kind of girl that, you know, if you say something complimentary, she's gonna like it and you're gonna be her friend. Just be nice, and she's gonna give you back nice. Okay. So I wouldn't have taken it to something so serious to the point where I have to run it back to go tell Melissa, knowing that Melissa's mom is not even invited. It's like, dang, Margaret, you really steering the pot and you getting this season started. You keeping those two siblings separated, okay? Because this is definitely not going to help with the relationship between Joe and Teresa. Come on. Teresa should have known better not to do that. So at Jen's place, Teresa, she mentions how she has never stayed at her brother's Shore's house, and that we learned some other tea as well, that her daughter Gia asked to stay at their shore house, and Melissa, and she points out, she specified Melissa said no. She didn't say her uncle, she didn't say her brother. Teresa said that Melissa said no, and Jennifer is like, Melissa said no? And you know, Teresa just says she just want to be around people that likes her. So I feel like, you know, she's using that, you know, as an excuse to put the blame primarily on Joe and Melissa. But it's really, they both wrong. They both wrong, and they know it. It's just they so stubborn. Oh my God. So at Melissa's, Joe mentions how he spoke to Danielle and how he thought that there's more to the situation than just Instagram for why her and Danielle's brother is not getting along. So Jackie, aka Danielle's biggest fan, she says that Danielle is leaving out a big piece to the story, and that there's something more that she doesn't want out there. And I'm like, damn. You know, then she calls her a name. I'm like, why are we doing that? You know Danielle don't like you. You don't like Danielle. So why are you going to egg this on? She calls Danielle the Long Island Snooki. And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? And I'm going to need some clarification on that. Like, what is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to give? What is that supposed to do? And most importantly, I want to know, who's going to run that back to Danielle? Is it going to be Melissa? Or is it going to be Margaret? Because I don't know who's going to run that back. Who? Let's take bets down at the comments. Who do you think is gonna tell Danielle that Jackie thinks that she looks like a Long Island Snooki? I have my bets on. Let me give it to Margaret. Margaret's gonna run it back. Margaret's gonna go tell Danielle that. So pretty much everyone is getting for the night, and it's gonna be a luau party, so it's gonna be fun. And Bill, he is funny. He just wants to carry himself with high class in this party. And I'm like, yeah, they drunks. Like they know how to drink. They know how to I don't know if they know how to drink or the drink knows how to drink them down. Like, come on. So at Melissa's luau party, Melissa's family is all there. And I wasn't even expecting her family to be there. And I'm like, oh, Teresa's going to be in the same room. That's going to be interesting. But, it's positive vibes. Everyone's having a good vibe. Of course, Margaret, she got to ask and she got to bring up to Rachel if Teresa warned her saying that, oh, she's better as an enemy, blah, 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 blah. And Rachel is like, she's ready to report. Rachel says yes. And that she also brings up what Danielle said. And I'm like, why would you do that? Y'all supposed to be a team. Y'all came together. Y'all leave together, okay? And she pretty much said that, Danielle thought that Margaret saves information on her friends to use later, and that she has all this information on these girls. And Margaret was not feeling that at all. And she calls Danielle bouge. And in her confessional, she's like, oh, Danielle is bouge. That is a wannabe rich and fancy. So, I'm like, damn, it may be Margaret be the one to tell Danielle that she's the Long Island Snooki. Now, mind you, Jackie is sipping the tea up, listening to all this conversation about Danielle. And Jackie wants her moment with Danielle. I'm like, when is it going to happen? I'm thinking it's going to go down in this episode. I was so let down. Guys, it's going to happen next episode. But I still rate this episode quite high. Okay? So, Margaret, she goes to tell Melissa the new information that she knows. And she says that, these girls, they think that Marge has arsenal. And then Melissa's like, what's an arsenal? And she's like confused like Teresa. And of course, Marge is shading her confessionals where all the gangsters like to live at. And she says that she's confused like Teresa. So everyone is drinking. But, Jen Fessler, is actually quite an interesting gal. She is waiting for Rachel to turn. Like, she thinks Rachel is so sweet. She's just wondering when Rachel's going to turn. And I'm like, Rachel's already turning. Let's keep our eye out on Rachel. Rachel, these girls will eat you up. I don't know where you're going to fall when everything is down and on the line and everything's now for takes. But pretty much Marge, she confronts Teresa about what Rachel said. And Teresa is like, oh, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything negative about the Marge. But Rachel was like, you did. And Teresa feels that Rachel is trying to start something. So, I don't know, Rachel. You haven't been here too long. You really want to go against Teresa? I don't know. But definitely, Rachel, she got the support of Marge. Marge feels like, she's okay with Rachel. Jen Fester's okay with Rachel. So if Marge and Jen Fester likes Rachel, Rachel's good. Okay? So we concerned with our girl Danielle. So Teresa tells Marge that we're good and that they are trying to be friends. They're still working on it, but you see Marge is like looking at her. Teresa, you can't say that. But you could see from Teresa's face, like, that's what I feel. Like, you could tell that these girls are trying, but they're not trying to be too fake about it either, okay? They on guard with each other. So the hula hoop girls are hula hooing, and Dolores and Frank, they have their talk, of course. And Frank, he's bonding with the guys, and he mentions how he wanted Polly to be here. He's like, he wants to be good with Polly because he feels like if he's good with Polly, he's going to be good with Dolores. So Frankie asked Dolores to fix it and make it happen. And, Dolores said, this is not my fight. All she cares about is her man. Take it how it is, and that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be, okay? So, Jen Fessler, she brings up what needed to be brought up. She asked Teresa and Louis about the situation of Melissa's mom not being invited to the wedding. And Teresa said that, they have history, and I'm confused. What the hell is that history? But, Teresa is not trying to out it out. Like, she's not trying to tell these girls what's really the tea. But in her confessionals, she opened up saying that Melissa's mother and sister were writing things about her on social media. So this is like, no. So since that, she forgives, but she never forgets. So she keeps her distance from them. And, Louis, he brings up that, he apologized to the mother. But Teresa was like caught off guard because she didn't even know that happened. And she wished that he had discussed that with her. And, Teresa, she's being sarcastic. She's like, if you're so good with the mother now, you can go invite her. And Louis, he goes ahead and he goes look for Donna, Melissa's mother. But she left, so he didn't get to invite her to the wedding. So the guys are being guys, and they are waxing Fuda. They're getting drunk, and they're drinking. And it's really hard, because the ladies are trying to, film a whole show production, but the guys are being quite rowdy. So Jackie, she's taking her time to film. She wants to have her moment. And, she goes and talks to Jen. And the reason why she talks to Jen is she wants Jen to make up with Margaret. But Jen is not interested at all because her daughter is going through a whole situation because of Margaret outing out the family secret. Jackie understands and can relate because in the previous season, Teresa, she spread a rumor that wasn't even true about her husband, and her daughter was concerned whether or not her parents would stay together. So Jackie understands, and she listens to Jen, and pretty much she's an ear for Jen, which is nice. Jackie can be nice. Jackie is very supportive. Jackie then, since she didn't get the commotion from that, Jackie then started talking to Danielle, and that sends Danielle into a whole situation. Jackie's saying to the girls that, she doesn't believe the story. Margaret doesn't believe the situation either. And Melissa, she's like, she doesn't believe it either. But she goes and sees Danielle because she sees Danielle's making a face. And Danielle tells her, I feel like, she feels like these girls, they talking about me, and I don't like people talking about me, and I'm not there. Melissa tells her that, they just feel like they're not getting the whole story. And what you see is Danielle's face getting red. And she feels like people are questioning her character. And you start to see her get activated. But I'm thinking she's going to go and confront the girlies. But she doesn't. And, she's mad when she don't take food back home. Like, she said, girls, let's leave. She wants to leave. She said, get your man and let's go. Get your mans and go. And so she goes off in the car and she's like yelling. This is about to be a great housewife in the making. Like, honestly, she's coming for Teresa's spot because Teresa was even sitting in her seat like, what the hell? Like, she was just shocked and taking it in. This episode was way too good. I would rate this because of Danielle in 8.7. Because I felt like in the preview before, I felt like we were getting that moment in this episode. But this episode was once again build up to the next episode type of situation. So I feel like, we have what to look forward to is Danielle confronting these girls about what they said about her good name, okay? And then we also look forward to see how things fall for Rachel. Like, how the girl's going to feel about Rachel now being the one, saying what information has gone down. Okay. And, I'm over Melissa and Joe and Teresa's situation. So I'm happy we have these new housewives in the mix and making it interesting for us. We also have Jen Fessler, who's holding it down for us. The guys, the guys always make it a ball. So I'm not even worried about that. So we have a lot to look forward to, guys. I wonder what you guys rate this episode. Let me know in the comments down below. But if you enjoyed this recap, please like and share. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next week for a new recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And as always, don't forget to spread as much kindness as possible. Take care and goodbye.